hungry. Hey, it's Jada Montemarano, and I'm running on empty. Let's go. There's so much delicious food to discover here, if you have the patience for the drive or the delivery wait time. For chefs, owners, and customers alike, food can represent family.
This is old-fashioned Italian food, their family recipe. So the presentation you might not find the best.
It's part of a culture.
It's a cuisine of a rather colder country, so we ate what we could grow.
Yeah, it's very meat and potatoes kind of food.
And all about tradition.
This is what I grew up on. My grandma made these egg rolls for me, so this is very homemade to me.
Now I'm hungry, so we're gonna take a trip around the world, well, around Southern California, for a taste of it all on a special edition of Running on Empty. We can't travel right now because of the pandemic, but that doesn't mean our taste buds can't help us take a trip around the world without even leaving Southern California. And while we fulfill our craving for international cuisines, we can also support our local favorite restaurants that have been going through a tough time. I went to many of these businesses right in the middle of the pandemic, and they just want to stick around to feed their communities. So, if you have the means, of course, let's do our part and show them some love and connection. With the changing restrictions, many of these spots are only offering takeout and delivery right now. But food has a way of bringing people together even when we have to stay 6 feet apart. And we can also learn about a culture through its food. Our first stop today is Poland, where geographical factors play a large part in the cuisine. The cold climate and sometimes barren countryside force the Polish people to rely on potatoes, vegetables, and fruit that could last months. This is why you'll find, for example, pierogies made with potatoes and cucumber soups or salads. One SoCal restaurant has been serving these dishes for more than 40 years, just across the 405, which can be a trip in itself. Let's take that drive to Solidarity in Santa Monica. Spatzel plated right next to some homemade beef stroganoff, a traditional Polish dish brought to the modern audience, all led by this mother-daughter duo at Solidarity, seamlessly weaving the old and the new.
We still have those tiles.
Yeah, the same tiles.
Natasha was born the same year Solidarity was born. Here she is in her mother Alina's arms in the same kitchen we see today.
And taking it over was a really amazing feeling, just to be able to give back and to be a part of the community, to continue the legacy of Polish food in Santa Monica, which is underrepresented.
The second generation is continuing the legacy of Alina, who moved from Poland and opened this restaurant in 1979. 40 years of food, family, and looking to the future.
Well, I'm very proud of Natasha. She improved it tremendously.
Over the last few years, Natasha changed the name to Solidarity to represent the struggle of the Polish people and how they overcame adversity, and highlighted the Polish traditional dishes with a California flair.
We really have combined the best of both worlds. We have Polish food influenced by healthy California living.
But most of the recipes come straight from Alina's home cooking from Poland.
It's a cuisine of a rather colder country, so we ate what we could grow.
Yeah, it's very meat and potatoes kind of food.
You'll see the homemade applesauce that tops the fresh, then fried placki, the Polish version of potato pancakes, paired with their standout dish, the pierogi, which has an interesting history.
Poland was always invaded by someone. Actually, results of this influences from other countries. For instance, those pierogies, which are like raviolis, are from our Italian queen that married a Polish king.
I think the best way to experience a culture is through its food. And that's really what happens here every day. People get transported back.
Get transported to Poland without leaving SoCal at Solidarity. I am sitting with their small plate taster, so you get a little bit of everything. We have the kielbasa, the pierogi, the placki, and the cucumber salad. But I had my eye on these homemade pierogies they make in-house every day. You have to get the onion and the sour cream on it. This is the best pierogi I've ever had. They are light and fluffy, but somehow still crispy and crunchy on the outside from the sear of the pan. And the filling is potato, onion, and cheese. So you get the potato, but also a little hint of salt. And of course, do not sleep on the rest of this platter because you get the kielbasa, which is crispy and spicy, and then the plotsky, which is kind of like a potato and onion pancake, but they have their homemade applesauce on top with a hint of cinnamon, which really makes it salty and sweet at the same time. It is delicious. You cannot go wrong here at Solidarity. I definitely think it's worth the drive over, and I'm no longer running on empty. While Polish cuisine is traditionally potato heavy, Pakistani cuisine is known for its meats. The dishes include lots of beef, chicken, and fish with various spices. Now, Pakistani cuisine is actually heavily influenced by Indian cuisine, featuring very similar dishes and flavors, but Indian food focuses more on vegetables. We learn all about this when we head all the way down to Orange County to Casa to try elevated takes on popular street food. Beef kebab cooked over hot coals. Often seen as street food, Chef Imran Ali Muki instead is bringing sophistication to the dish through plating. He decided it was time to display Pakistani cuisine in an elevated way at his new restaurant, Casa.
To bring that street concept into a fine dining food.
Chef Ali actually never spent time in the kitchen while growing up in Pakistan. He didn't begin cooking until he moved to the States at age 17. From there, he quickly moved up the ladder, working in Michelin star restaurants and serving Pakistani Indian cuisine.
Indian food, it's all about more towards vegetarian food. Pakistani food is more about where meat comes in, right? So when you get meat involved in your cooking, it becomes rich, spicier.
Chef Ali decided to tap into his Pakistani roots at his new spot, Casa, showcasing high-end meats and the multitude of spices that enter every dish with passion in the plating.
The major part that we play here, it's our plating and our presentation of the food, because it's pretty fun. Like, we want people to get engaged with food.
But just a month after opening, Consab closed due to the pandemic. They slowly found their footing with delivery and takeout, then later added outdoor dining, something Chef Ali never expected to encounter.
Pakistani food has always been in the background. I think it's time for Pakistani food to be elevated, being in a fine dining experience.
One playfully plated dish is the sloppy khan, a Pakistani take on the sloppy joe. Made with Wagyu beef on Indian bread with gen powder spices, topped with chili and onions. This is a dish seen in street carts around Pakistan, but Chef took it to the next level, even serving it in a cart.
Go back to street food, back to India and Pakistan, you will see this cart in an actual live station.
Try the flavors of Pakistan right in Fullerton at Khan Saab. I have a beautiful spread in front of me from Khan Saab, but what I'm digging into is their signature dish that everyone comes here for, the sloppy khan. Oh man, it is sloppy. I am in love with this. As kids in America, many grew up eating sloppy joes, and Chef tells me in Pakistan, as kids, they did too. This really is the blending of two cultures. The bun is nice and soft and buttery and crispy, and the beef is Wagyu, and it's sweet and a little bit spicy as well. I definitely know why everyone comes here for this dish specifically, but if you want something a little spicier, you can get the beef kebab. There's chicken, there's rice, there's so many options here. I definitely think it's worth the drive over to Khan Saab, and I'm no longer running on empty. It's time to make our way over to Italy for some decadent dishes. The cuisine is known for tomato-based sauces, mozzarella cheese, that's how I say it from New York, and of course the many types of pasta that come in all shapes and sizes, from spaghetti to ravioli, linguine, and more. And you don't even have to fly overseas to eat a meal like Grandma would make. The owners of Vito Restaurant moved to the States in 1975, opening their Santa Monica restaurant just 5 years later. I got to dig into the dishes made with love at Vito's. This Caesar salad has been made right in front of customers for 40 years. The tableside staple that Vito Restaurant has become famous for must be tabled for now, which owner Giovanna Soma isn't really a fan of.
But because the health department doesn't allow us, we have to prepare in the kitchen, and that makes me a little upset. It's like you lose something.
Giovanna feels the restaurant lost a lot during the pandemic, especially that human interaction they were known for.
In 40 years, we had some ups and downs, like every business, but nothing like this. I feel that we lost so much connection with the customers, and I can't wait to go back to where we were. Because it's not just money. For me, it's way more than that.
The restaurant's her baby that she nurtured since 1980. Giovanna and her husband Roberto opened the restaurant after moving to the States from Italy. These recipes are passed down from generation to generation.
I love food, so everything we do with food, it's done with passion.
To take extra precaution, we weren't able to film in the kitchen, but one waiter shows off the staples of the restaurant, from pesto pasta to burrata, and there are no frills here.
This is old-fashioned Italian food, their family recipe. So the presentation, you might not find the best.
But Giovanna says the presentation doesn't matter when the flavors stand out. And the one dish that keeps the loyal customers coming back is the spaghetti della Casa. It's spaghetti tossed in a light pink sauce topped with cut-up shrimp and a cognac sauce that's actually torched. From spaghetti to linguine, every dish is made with love.
The most important thing in my life, of course, is my family, my kids, my grandchildren. But right after that is my restaurant.
Be treated like family while enjoying a hearty, home-cooked Italian meal from Vito's. The one that I have to try is what they're known for, the spaghetti della Casa that is topped with a cognac flame. Oh my goodness. This pink sauce is stand out. It is sweet with just the right amount of salt, and the pasta is cooked perfectly al dente, and there's shrimp in this dish, but it's cut up into bite-sized pieces for you so you don't have to do any work. This is authentic Italian that I'm used to eating in New York. It's absolutely delicious, and don't forget about that famous Caesar salad. You have to get that here. I definitely think it's worth the drive over to Vito's, and I'm no longer running on empty. While the owners miss serving customers tableside, good news is Vito is open for pickup and delivery from most major apps. Our next stretch of the journey takes us to Japan for some fried chicken when Running on Empty Around the World returns. Welcome back to Running on Empty Around the World. I'm Jada Montemarano. We've already been to Poland, Pakistan, and Italy, but why don't we take a trip to Vietnam for some delicious veggie-based dishes? Vietnamese cuisine is known for being very light and healthy, using fresh vegetables, rice, and noodles. Over in the U.S., we know and love the banh mi, but one local restaurant offers so much more, even bringing some American influences to traditional dishes. Mize leaned into pandemic restrictions by focusing on a fast, casual to-go concept. It's just a quick drive over to Mar Vista to get the taste of Vietnam.
Pork egg roll.
Hand-stuffing egg rolls in the kitchen of her new restaurant is what owner of Mize, Tracy Fan Davis, is used to doing, but at home.
I like to pack mine full of meat.
She grew up eating these pork and veggie crunchy snacks and knew she had to put them on her menu.
This is what I grew up on. My grandma made these egg rolls for me, so this is very homemade to me.
Everything at Tracy's fast casual spot is homemade. Her mom moved from Vietnam to the U.S. at age 11, and her cooking transformed into a Vietnamese-American style, which she passed on to Tracy. The restaurant is the epitome of combining two cultures: the American influence on Vietnamese traditional dishes, the need for a faster food concept, and even her family.
Mize is commonly, referred to a biracial mixed American person. That's what Mize means to me and any other Vietnamese person.
Tracy's husband, Chad, has 25 years of experience in the restaurant industry and partnered with her to open Mize. He's Caucasian, as Tracy is Vietnamese. The restaurant and her future family is Mize. The former Live Nation exec left the world of business behind to do something for herself, and she noticed a need in the market for a fast, healthy Vietnamese option and thought it was the perfect time to open. She says there are Mexican and Mediterranean grab-and-go spots, but nothing for her culture's cuisine.
I started seeing a shift in a trend in the food industry, just a younger generation. They want to have affordable food that is healthy and but it is reasonably priced.
And you'll find that here. You create your own dishes made right in front of you, and Tracy says Vietnamese cuisine is known for being healthy and light, with bright and clean flavors. You'll find this in the most popular dish, Mama Mize chicken and rice, named after her mom.
We created this dish kind of just for fun in our kitchen, my husband and I, and now every single time my mom comes, that's the dish she wants us to make. So we put it on the menu, we named it after her, and now it is the #1 dish that we sell.
Full of homemade garlic rice, grilled chicken, and tons of veggies. You can enjoy Mama Mize bowl or any other combination to go at Mize. Make sure when you dig in, you get a little bit of everything. Wow, this is packed with so much flavor. In that first bite, you get those citrus, tangy notes from the fish sauce you pour on top, and then those garlic undertones really come through from the rice. And then all of the toppings are so fresh and light and add that crunch you want. This really is a healthy but hearty dish. And then you can get that massive banh mi if you want, and don't forget that Vietnamese iced coffee. It is delicious. I definitely think it's worth the drive over to My Lai, and I'm no longer running on empty. From Vietnam to Japan, one of the staples in Japanese cuisine is actually fried chicken. It's called karaage and is a bit different than what you find here in the US. The technique uses small pieces of chicken that are lightly coated and fried using flavors of garlic, sesame, or soy. We visited local restaurant Piku Nico, where Chef Kaniko serves karaage that reminds her of home. I actually went to this restaurant before the pandemic. That's why you may not see masks or gloves.
2 baskets. Wow, somebody's hungry.
Who doesn't love fried chicken? Chef Kuniko Yagi pours her heart and soul into her Japanese fried chicken, or karaage. It's what she grew up eating in Japan with her grandmother. They would buy karaage from the store and have a picnic in the garden.
The best memory I have with my grandma.
This is where the name Piconiko came from, a combination of picnic and her name, Kuniko. She wanted to celebrate her childhood and her grandmother.
I think I wanted to really thank her for unconditional love to raise me. And I think about her all the time. And now I'm here doing well in California myself. So it's kind of like a devotion to what she has done to my life.
After growing up in Japan, Chef Kuniko decided to move to the United States, where she felt there was better opportunities for women. She says no one tells you that you can't do something here.
Really unwinded myself by the culture of the United States, that I don't need to restrict myself for who I want to be.
She also never thought she would become a chef. She had no culinary background, and it wasn't the typical career for women in Japan. Chef Kuniko worked from the bottom up in the fine dining world, gaining all the valuable experience that she now puts into her casual dining restaurant.
But then my goal was to serve as many people as I can with a reasonable price and serve the best quality I can.
Kuniko makes sure to use fresh ingredients and makes everything from scratch, using all of the skills she's learned over the years. Her goal was to make light comfort food. The fried chicken is actually gluten-free.
Piku Nico is making my dream happen.
Grab a basket, a sandwich, and sides, then sit down for a picnic at Piku Nico. Let's tear into this juicy, crispy fried chicken. Oh my gosh. This is everything I expected out of the karaage. It is crispy and crunchy on the outside and somehow remains juicy and moist on the inside. This definitely is not dry fried chicken. And I didn't even use any of the dipping sauces, and there's still so much flavor. The ginger and the soy really comes out in that crust. And Chef was right, this is a light fried chicken. It's comfort food, but it doesn't feel heavy in your stomach when you eat it. I definitely think it's worth the drive over here to Piku Nico, and I'm no longer running on empty. For our final stop on this journey around the world, we head to Peru for its bold flavors and meat-heavy dishes. Potatoes and beef are the stars of the cuisine, but light ceviches are also popular. One SoCal restaurant reimagines Peruvian staples into Mexican favorites, fitting with the food culture here in Los Angeles. From tacos to burritos, the two cuisines are blended seamlessly at Little Llama in downtown Los Angeles. A tostada with a beautiful yellow ají amarillo crema, the Peruvian influence to a Mexican staple. Chef Jen perfected the blending of two cuisines.
My love for Mexican food, my love for tacos, and being Being an Angelino, obviously I love Peruvian flavors. I just wanted them to come together, and it just seemed like I would be the right person to make that happen.
He's the right person because he learned to cook with his grandma in a small town of Peru and brought those lessons to Los Angeles, where he's been for 20 years studying and working as a chef. When it came time to create his own concept with his business partner Angela Wagner, they knew it had to be a Peruvian-Mexican blend.
The flavors of Peru in a really accessible format like tacos, sort of like the vehicle for you to try Peruvian food for the first time.
Whether you've had Peruvian dishes before or not, Angela says Little Llama brings chefs' unique perspective and high-end plating to a fast, casual experience with bright colors and decor, like these super cute llamas. I love them.
It's so fun, the flavors are so fresh. You know, you take one bite and there is so much going on, and it really excites people. And then we wanted to create an environment that echoed that.
But this brand new restaurant came during the pandemic. Angela says they experienced many struggles to get here, but she hopes they can still welcome customers outdoors to come together again through food. Now, you're probably thinking you've had many tacos in LA already, but trust me, none are quite like these. Chef takes those quintessential Peruvian flavors and brings them to traditional Mexican dishes, like the famous lomo saltado. Chef takes the marinated steak stir fry and potatoes and puts them in a taco.
Lomo is steak, and saltado is the movement that you make when you're stir frying on the wok.
Party with a blow-up llama while trying a taco tostada burrito and more at Little Llama. The lomo saltado is their signature dish here, and we are just going to dig into this massive taco. Oh man. Oh my gosh. Okay, so you can see I cleaned myself up a little bit. I got hair in my face. Chef warned me that it was going to get messy when I ate the tostada, but he didn't warn me about the taco. But that's because it is packed with that steak that was absolutely delicious and beautifully cooked. I definitely think it's worth the drive over to Little Llama, and I'm no longer running on empty. So there are so many other great restaurants here in Los Angeles, and they all deliver. So you could take that trip around the world without getting off your couch. That sounds nice, right? We have some options for your delivery this week. Korean barbecue is a staple in Los Angeles, and since in-person dining has been off the table for some time, you may not have had a chance to enjoy. Well, now you can order your own Korean barbecue kit at home. They give you all the meats, all the sauces, all the sides to have your very own feast in your house. They even sell the burger for $30. You can head to kbbqkit.com for more. And continuing our trip around the world, let's head to Jamaica. Natrali Art has been serving the community for 35 years and is continuing to do so during the pandemic. Take a look at this beautiful plate. You can get jerk salmon or chicken and these beautiful crispy plantains from most major delivery apps. And have you ever tried Ethiopian cuisine? Well, you can right here in LA at Lalabella on Fairfax in Little Ethiopia. They serve vegetable dishes that include stews and other comforting items, perfect for the pandemic, and of course, they're open for pickup and delivery. And last but not least, why not try some cocktails from Lost Cove? It's a new pop-up located in Bloodsoe's Barbecue. They're serving Hawaiian favorites and tiki drinks. Now take a look at the surprise I have over here. We love a costume here on Running on Empty, and I have all the supplies where you can have a fun night in. So they sell these pre-made cocktails. This one's macadamia chichi. All you have to do is shake it up, pour it in your glass with ice, and you're good to go. Now these glasses do come separately, but I find them super fun and you can have a great time. But if you want to skip the drinks, their dishes are delicious too. Thank you so much for watching Running on Empty Around the World. We hope you got some international inspiration to take you to another place, while of course, staying safe at home. And thank you again to the restaurants who continue to bring us some light during all of this with their heartwarming food. If you want to know more, I have information on all of these restaurants at spectrumnews1.com/ROE for more. And of course, please send any local restaurant ideas my way at Jada Montemarano on all social media. I mean, cheers, all right?